Story RH, the podcast that makes a long story short.
Welcome to all.
History is made of stories.
In this episode, we'll be talking about acting in the interests of the common good, which is vital when it comes to getting along in a group.
In companies, we often sum up people's ability to live together and get along as reflection of working conditions and interpersonal relations, sometimes distilling everything into the concept of well-being, which a lot of people now take as a given.
Getting along means respecting others and respecting what brings us together, respecting what unites us, what we call the common good. But what is the common good in a corporate environment? What's the story?
Respecting what brings people together in a company means respecting the company and its purpose. In other words, why it has brought these different parties together and why they need to get along for it to function.
It's not just about respecting your employer, it's about really understanding that, for everyone to get along, there needs to be a common good.
It's not about something that everybody owns. It's something that ensures each and every person in the company can achieve fulfillment.
It's about acting in the interests of all members of the group. It's about meeting the expectations of all stakeholders, which brings us back to the company's purpose, its mission, its ambition, its values, everything that makes it what it is and underpins its business plan and strategy.
The common good combines the interests of each and every member of the group, one for all and all for one. Those who dismiss the common good dismiss the company as a community, and reduce it nothing more than an opportunistic convergence of individual interests. Obviously, that's not the best way to foster synergy and harmony.
Seeing the common good as something crucial to our ability to get along in a group raises a number of questions for HR departments. First, there's the issue of respecting everyone's interests. To what extent should we let the interests of one stakeholder outweigh the interests of others?
For example, defending the interests of employees, who are one of those stakeholders, does not mean taking their side against the company. It means ensuring everyone's voice is heard to strike the balance needed for the long-term success of the company and its business plan. At the same time, shareholder interests shouldn't run contrary to the interests of other stakeholders.
HR departments are there to help find that common ground.
The second key issue for HR departments is the company's approach to corporate social responsibility, the common good of stakeholders, both in the company and in society as a whole. And it's not just about talking the talk. It's about walking the walk. Social responsibility is about more than just image and compliance.
The third issue for HR departments is the leadership model. HR departments should find the best way to convey and consider a company's ability to prioritize the common good and ensure its leadership model serves as a standard bearer.
The final point of focus is recognition. Too many pay policies have cultivated the kind of excessive individualization that leads to a me-first mentality. That's often a source of frustration and even injustice among those who act in the interests of the common good, sometimes to the detriment of their immediate financial gain.
HR departments should look carefully at the company's established recognition policies. How can those policies reflect the common good from a financial and moral standpoint?
How can we transition from an approach based on individualization, in which each person is part of, but not committed to the whole, towards a sort of personalization, in which each person shoulders some of the overall responsibility?
HR departments have a part to play in ensuring respect for the common good and people's ability to thrive together. That role might not always make human resources popular, but that's not the point. It's about sustainable success, not short-term gain.
It's a challenge every human endeavor has always faced, and it inevitably calls into question the very essence of what constitutes a company.
To recap, to get along we need to respect what brings us together as a group, the purpose of the company. We need to consider the common good. And to do that, HR departments should focus on 4 issues. 1. Respecting all stakeholders. 2. The reality of corporate social responsibility. 3. The way in which the common good is enshrined in the leadership model. And 4. The way in which it's reflected in recognition policies. Is that right?
Exactly right. Way to make a long story short. Story RH, the podcast that makes a long story short.